Hey guys, what's up? So we're back in the garage again. We're working on the 2010 Dyna Wide Glide. So I'd made a video last week about everything that I had done to this front end, and it didn't come out. So neither did the work that I tried to accomplish. Didn't come out either. So anyway, here's the story. I got a clunk in my front end when I'm going over bumps. It's coming from the front fork area. So I disassembled the front forks, bought the kit, the oil, everything that I needed to rebuild the forks. Took it all apart, rebuilt the forks. I kind of videoed some of it. I didn't do a detailed breakdown of taking the forks apart and rebuilding them, but it's just kind of an overview. I did strip my lowers and I repainted them because they were kind of chipped up. These are painted lowers. They are painted with a standard AutoZone brand truck bed liner. So it kind of looks like a crinkle finish, but it's very, very durable. It lasts a long time. So anyway, that video did not come out. So what we're doing today, my clunk, I rebuilt everything. I put everything back together just exactly to factory spec, and I still have a clunk. I think there's something wrong inside with the internals. So what we're going to tackle now is we're going to take this all apart, and what you see on the floor right here is the progressive suspension monotube suspension for the front end of this bike. I got this in and I'm going to take it apart. Basically, you take all the internals out, you replace it with these internals. One tube. You'll have to look these up, guys. They're pretty wicked. It's supposed to be pretty wicked anyway. Replaces all the internals. The only things that I'm not going to have to change is the dust cap and the seals again. And all new springs. The spring, it's really weird how the system works. One side's a spring, the other side's a suspension tube or something like that. I'll get into it a little bit later. I don't want to make this video too long, but if this, like I said, progressive suspension, if this does not work, then I am looking at new lowers. And if you've ever priced new lowers, you could probably get them at a junkyard. I might end up with something just as bad as what I have, or I might end up with something good. New ones, you know, $500-600. This kit right here was just short of 600. But like I said, if it works, it replaces all the internals. It changes the suspension. They're calling it a modern suspension system, high performance suspension system. So I'll go over some of the steps that I'm going to do to do this and record it, and hopefully this one will come out and you can see a little bit of what it takes. Progressive Suspension does have videos on doing this on their website. If you're interested, I'm going to put this all together, go for a test drive, see if it doesn't eliminate my problem. Yeah, which I hope it does, because it's riding season and I'm ready to go. So my first ride was not so successful this season. So anyway, when we come back, I'll go through some of the stuff, putting it in. It looks like a fairly straightforward, simple application. I do have to remove the fork tubes, take everything out, put everything back in. Oil uses a lot less oil because of the suspension system, the way it's set up. So like I said, if you're interested in this and you have a Dyna, they make these for a few other bikes, but you can look this up on Progressive's website and learn about it a little more. I'm going to learn about it. I'm going to hope that it takes care of my problem. And if it doesn't, then, you know, I'm just going to be throwing more money. But anyway, I will talk at you here in a bit. All right, here's where we're at. Front wheel off. Got everything taken apart, caliper off and everything. Just draining the oil out. When you do this, they tell you do not reuse your oil. This is brand new oil. I just put it in the other day. The bike hasn't gone anywhere. So most likely going to use this oil because it is brand new Type F oil. I do have some 10 weight also. So if I change my mind, I've got brand new bottles of 10 weight as well. But I'm just draining the oil out of this one side. Then I'm going to pull this fork tube off. According to their video, the fork tube where the cap comes off the bottom, this is the one where I'm going to be putting in the black cartridge. And then the other side is just springs and a spacer. So I might pick you up when I'm putting this one leg together and then when I put the other leg together. But this is where I'm at right now. Okay guys, here we are. I've got the one tube back on. As you can see, I've got the progressive component in this one. This is the long black cartridge. Did it according to the videos and according to the instructions. This is stock height. This is not 1 inch lowered. This is stock height. I put some black tape on there just to mark my fork tubes, just in case I didn't want to be uneven or have them push one up too far, not far enough. Last time I did it, I did the same thing just so I could mark them and make sure that they went back in the same place. So the next one is taking this one off here, and then let me walk over here real quick. See my mess. This is my workstation. I'm working on the floor. So the next one takes these components here, the springs, okay, the cap, the rod there, okay. So what they tell you to reuse is your bolt and your crush washer. You should have a new crush washer, which I have new crush washer, sorry guys. And then the cup that goes on the bottom of these. There's a cup that goes on the bottom. They send you this adjustment tool for adjusting some of the stuff. Here is your tightening cap tool, which I haven't done yet. So I'll get that all done once I have both of them back on. I'll tighten everything back up. So like I showed you, that one big cartridge that went in here, the black cartridge, and one taller spring than this one went in that one, and then this goes in the other side. So pretty trippy setup, but there's my finger in the way. Supposed to work better than stock shock, so we'll check it out when we're done. All right, stand by. Okay guys, as you can see, we've got it all put back together. Just rolled it off of the stand. Cycled the shocks a few times to set the springs. Right off the bat, I noticed that this is so much tighter and stiffer, and not so much spongier. Not as spongy as the factory shocks or the factory fork. So we've got one item left to address. And they don't show you this in the video, but it comes in the instructions. It's about setting like the droop and the preload with these little guys here. I believe you only adjust it on the one side. I don't think you adjust it on both sides. This is that fixed cylinder. And then this is the spring side. So this is where you're adjusting your spring load here. So just pulling it off the stand and cycling it, I don't hear the clunk. I hear it's a slight noise, but I don't know if that's the new suspension or not. I'm going to have to ride it up and down the road and see what we got. But right now, we're all put back together. We've got the new progressive suspension monotube suspension put on this, the 2010 Dyna Wide Glide. So test drive next, and then hopefully finish out the video. Hopefully this fixed my problem. If not, I'm going to be looking for some more forks. The tubes and the lowers, who knows what. That'll mean, that'll be a definite indicator that I have something bent. And we'll have to get that addressed. All right. Stand by. All right, guys. Results are in. The suspension in the front is beautiful. I like it. It feels really good. It feels really positive. Bad news, I still have a noise. Well, we'll keep searching, but... So, that's it for the progressive monotube suspension install. Works much better than the factory. The front end is much tighter. There's no binding. There's no movement in the front fork, but I still have a noise going over like washboards or small bumps or something like that. So onward and upward. Till next time, if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Check my motor mounts. They're not moving. But there's about a million things that could be loose. Something could be loose. It's something in the front. Going over small bumps, sharp bumps. You know, not big swoopy bumps or anything like that. Anyway, that's going to end it here for this one. Talk at you later, guys. All right, guys. I am going to put a happy ending to this front end noise expensive video journey for my front end clunk. So luckily I was about to take it to the shop and have them look at it, spend lots of money having people diagnose stuff. I read some threads and some posts and just looking up stuff for the front end clunk, and somebody mentioned the gas tank. I have checked this gas tank. I've grabbed a hold of it, tried to shake it, tried to move it. It does not move. It is not loose, but they said, check your bolts, tighten them down, double check the tightness. So I did. And I cranked them down. The back one underneath the front of the seat was a little bit looser than the one on the front. It wasn't loose. They were snug. And lo and behold, I tightened them up, tightened them down, and the front end clunk is gone. And that's amazing. So there you go, guys. If you have this problem, these bikes have these problems with the front end noise. Something to do with the head stem being pressed in, not welded in. The Harley dealership was trying to tell me that they weren't sure they could get the parts. They would have to go aftermarket, etc., etc. You know, all these things that go through your mind of spending thousands and thousands of dollars or just giving up and buying a new bike, which was what I really wanted to do. But anyway, I'm going to cut this short because this is the end of the video. But I am super impressed with the progressive monotube setup that I put in it. It was worth every bit of the money that I spent to upgrade the front forks to this system. I'm going on a long ride tomorrow. And I think that's going to be the proof in the pudding. But for now, front end clunk is fixed. The tank mounts, check them if you have this problem before you do anything else. Make that your first priority and then go from there. All right, guys. Later.